So for 29, we're given the domain of a function and it's a range. Then we're going to perform some transformations on this function to make a new function, and we need to state what the domain and range is. So A, notice where the transformations occurring inside the function, inside the parentheses. So it's what's being transformed is the domain. So when we do a transformation to the domain, it always responds oppositely of how we would think. So instead of moving it 3 units positively or 3 units to the right, this is going to move 3 units left. That's the transformation. And since we move 3 units to the left, just think about your domain is going to change by 3 units to the left. So I'm at -2. If I go 3 to the left, I'm going to be at -5, and 4 will be 3 units to the left will be at 1. State the domain and range of each function. So the function, the domain, or the range, sorry, the range does not change. It remains the same. Next one, we're adding 3, but it's outside the function. And so basically we're going to get a y value, add 3 to it. So this is, and when you're outside, it responds just like you would think. So it's going to add 3 to everything. This is a move of 3 units up, vertically up, right? And so it's not going to affect the domain. The domain will remain what it originally was, which is -2 to 4. But the range will, each y value gets moved up by 3. So a -1 plus 3 is going to get us to +2. 5 plus 2 is, say 5 plus 3, moved up 3, is going to be 8. This one is multiplying by 3 on the outside, and so each y value gets multiplied by 3. And so this is a, when we're multiplying by a number bigger than 1, it's going to be a, up and down is the effect, so it's going to be a vertical stretch, there's a C in there, by a factor of 3, or triple, right, by 3 times. And vertically, that only affects the range, so the domain will remain the same, -2 to 4. The range, think about it, every this range we're going to multiply all the y's by 3. So we're going to go -3 to 15. Same thing's happening with D, except think of this, we're just multiplying by a -1. But the negative, what does that do? Well, that takes every y value that was positive and makes it negative, and every y value that was negative and makes it positive. It's going to be a reflection. So we're going to reflect over the x-axis because it's the y's that are changing. And so again, the domain, nothing happens to it because that has not been changed. It's only changing on the outside of a function, so the y values change. And what's going to happen is the negatives become positive, the positives become negative, and so it's going to go from -5 to +1, flipping it over the x-axis. And finally, we have this last one, which is a negative on the inside of the function, so it's affecting the domain. This is a reflection over the y-axis. So every positive x becomes negative, every negative x becomes positive, and this will have an effect on the domain. Put I the domain will change. So -2 becomes +2, +4 becomes -4. So there's this flipping of the domain, -4 to +2. The range does not change. And again, so it stays where it originally was, -1 to 5. And that is 29.